Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here, got another Master Duel video for you. We are once again coming back to Mannadium. Almost didn't cover it for Season 31, but did have some time to sneak in some games to the deck right here at the end of the season. Looking at my list here, I actually don't know if this is even any different from my previous list. I feel like if it is, it might be by one card. Like maybe I had like 2 Imperm and 2 Valor instead of 1 Valor, 3 Imperm, which I think ideally I would probably have 2 of each of these instead of 3 of one and 1 of the other, for a deck like this anyway. But yeah, so the extra deck I know is exactly the same. Good old Mannadium. So one thing that I do remember from the last video is, because I remember saying like, oh, you never see this deck anymore, I wonder why. And I think it is, I think it's not only a combination of, like, you know, there have long since been other meta decks for people like me who just have every meta deck or like to try to have every meta deck. There have long since been other decks to try out, and as far as this deck's accessibility, it's a little, I mean, it's actually very on the lacking side. This is not only a deck that has a lot of URs, but a lot of them are, like, not the easiest to get. I don't even know if the Mannadium stuff... Actually, has even the Scareclaw stuff been put into a secret pack? I'm not sure off the top of my head about Scareclaw, but I'm very certain the Mannadium stuff itself is not. You know, that includes, of course, also the Vicious Astrolaud and the Umbra Terra. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely quite a few URs here. I mean, if we're only looking at in archetype, like specific to this deck URs, and you don't own any of them, this would be, what, 3, 6, 8? Yep, 8. 10, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18. Holy cow, that's like rivaling heroes. I guess to me it never seemed that bad because I was obviously pulling for this stuff as it was coming out because I've been playing this whole time, right? So, I remember having like the Scareclaw ride cards, and I think at least one of the light hearts as well as the field spells before the Mannadium stuff even came out. So yeah, definitely understandable why not too many people are on this deck. But, excuse me, although, I don't know, I think about this and I'm like, okay, so is Mannadium like a tier 3 deck now? This is something I always kind of struggle when I think about like what tier a deck is the classic argument of popularity versus power level, because I think Mannadium's power level is still in like the tier 2 range, but the popularity of the deck definitely is not. And the thing that kind of sucks is that, like, when a deck is more powerful than it is popular, that kind of will skew the results of its performance in the meta kind of not in its favor, because fewer people are on it, therefore you're getting fewer results, therefore there's less definitive data that shows the deck's appropriate power level. So yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 in that regard, but I do still think Mannadium is a very good deck that is absolutely worth playing. This is one of those decks where going first, it's a house, it has a lot of very strong plays, and it's not hard to play through hand traps in this deck if you open even just one extender, right? However, when it comes to going second, yeah, then things definitely leave a bit to be desired here. Now, granted, we do have quite a bit of room for hand traps. Like, as you can see, we're, of course, on Seas and Ash Blossoms, but also on, again, as I said before, Valor and Imperms and Nib, and we even have a couple of spots where I put in Triple Tactics talent. I've seen this deck on, like, Forbidden Droplet before, and I think that's honestly mostly for, like, obviously it's for the board-breaking capabilities, right? But with Forbidden Droplet, it's often played in decks like, I'm thinking Phantom Knight and Tri-Brigade, that have extra resources. They don't mind having it go to the graveyard. In fact, in the case of Phantom Knight, you can often just Droplet, send away your whole hand, and then still combo with all their graveyard effects. That's not really the case for Mannadium, but it has such a hard time going second that it kind of wants to play the Droplet anyway. And it's like if you open Rimheart Droplet and then other cards, you can just Droplet away your whole hand except for Rimheart, negate your opponent's whole board, and then Rimheart and start your plays, right? So, again, I've liked it though for Triple Tactics talent because I love this card. This is probably just my favorite staple card in the entire game, especially for Master Duel Best of 1. Very versatile, extremely powerful in all of its modes, and very rarely disappoints. So yeah, I don't even know that I really have much else to say about Mannadium at this point. It's like, I mean, it's still a cool and fun deck, but as far as like, I feel like most people who are watching this probably already know how Mannadium works, and as a result, I don't know if it behooves me to explain through the same build that hasn't really changed much over the past like 3 or 4 months. So let's just go ahead and break it down card by card, and then we'll start watching some of these duels, right? So we're on 1 Effect Veiler, 3 Max C, 3 Mannadium Meek, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 3 Scareclaw Rykart, 3 Mannadium Rimheart, 2 Vyz's Samsara, 2 Vyz's Starfrost, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 2 Triple Tactics Talent, 2 Scareclaw Rival, 1 Mannadium Imaginings, 1 Mannadium Abscission, 2 Primitive Planet Reichphobia. We got 3 Peaceful Planet Calarium, 2 Called by the Grave, 1 Cross-Out Designator, 3 Infinite Permanents, and then 1 Mannadium Reframing. That's going to be our main deck. And one thing I did realize about the main deck that is different going through it is that we're not on the Per Rhino anymore, which I think I just kind of forgot to put it in. Definitely good to have another card that searches the Vyz's Starfrost. If you wanted to play this, you could. It's kind of optional. Probably maybe like over Imaginings or something like that. But anyway. So that's the main deck. For the extra deck, we're on 2 Vicious Astrolaud, 1 Mannadium Trisuta, 1 Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. We got 1 Vyz's Amritera, 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Shengying, 1 Bestial Dissipator, 1 Chaos Angel, 2 Scareclaw Lightheart, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 SP Little Knight, and then finally 1 Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. That's going to do it for the list. Let's check out these duels. Okay, so our first opponent's going to be on Fire King Snake Eye. These were rating duels, but I actually remembered to write down what my opponents were on. Going against Fire King Snake Eye, and funnily enough, this very rarely happens to me, but I actually misclicked the coin flip. I won the coin flip, but accidentally clicked going second. And I gotta say, this is definitely quite a hand to have accidentally clicked going second for, as we open 3 hand traps, as well as Rhoda to start our plays and call by. So, you know what? Of all the games for this to have happened, this was a pretty good one. So, they're gonna lead with Diabell start pitching Ulcanix. Diabell F is activating. You'll notice I did not negate it. I let them set the wanted. Really was mainly looking to negate the original sin with Ash Blossom, which I'll do right now. But another nice side effect of not just imperming Diabell Star right off the bat is that now we are effectively making our opponent be down 1 more card in hand, right? Because they opened the OSS and they had to set wanted, this wanted can't be used, and even if it could, it wouldn't be useful for anything, right? So the Diabell Star effectively kind of got quote-unquote negated already, because although the effect did resolve, the thing that it set is not useful or relevant at all. So yeah, very, very glad we didn't imperm that. I definitely never imperm Diabell Star when it comes down. Instead, we'll just Ash Blossom the original sin here. They're going to normal summon Ulcanix, and since the effect is activating, we know this last card in hand is a fire monster, so we're definitely going to imperm this, right? If it happened to be Kieran, that would have been actually fine, because then Kieran would have popped Ulcanix, and then Ulcanix would... Oh no, it could have still popped the Kieran on the field. Never mind. So they actually could have resolved their plays, but they didn't have Kieran, so we're good. You'll actually notice that I didn't end up using Maxi at all, and this is... I don't know. There's so many things I want to talk about in the hand trap video that I know I've been talking about in videos forever. It's still being worked on. It's just like kind of more difficult to put together than I initially realized. Because there's so many hyper-specific situations like this game here, right? Where you'll notice I didn't use Max C at all. I prioritized other hand traps over it. That's because I already had the Rhoda in my hand, and I know that Rimheart by itself is like pretty much full combo. On turn 1 or for turn 2, Rimheart by itself can pretty easily put 8k damage on the board, especially with Vicious Astrolauds, right? So yeah, I didn't feel the need to use Max C right away because I didn't need to get draws in order to find plays. I already had plays. Therefore, I was more focused on stopping my opponent's plays and trying to find plays for myself. That's why I Ash Blossomed and Impermed and did not end up using the Max C. So, yeah, that, again, not a... not the most ideal situation to accidentally click going second, but if you are going to do it, this is definitely the kind of hand where you do want to do that. So let's take a look at our next duel here. Okay, this one I believe is against Stun. Let me check my notes here. Yeah, this one should be against Stun. A lot of pretty atypical games, although to be fair, I'm fine with that for a deck profile like this, because, like, how many times have I demonstrated, like, Mannadium turn 1 plays? Not going to see too many typical turn 1 lines in this video, but there are plenty of other videos I have made in the past that do cover those for Mannadium. So, Stun's going to go first here, leading off with the Morganite for the Light Barrier statue, as well as Fossil Dyna. We did open with Imperm, very nice, so we're going to Imperm the Fossil Dyna here. Then I'm going to use Rhoda to grab the Rimheart, which I'm not going to use right now, but I will use in a little bit. I get to use the Reichphobia for Vysis, Reichheart for Arrival, and now I'm going to use Vysis to pop the Reichheart and then move to Battle Phase. Need to get rid of this Barrier statue before I can really commit to making a lot of plays, right? And the other thing to have kept in mind for this situation is, of course, the Clockwork Knight. So Clockwork Knight's going to make their monsters gain 500 attack and defense, and my monsters lose 500 attack and defense, because everything's a machine. Stuffing a machine does not affect our combo lines, really. Our synchros and extract monsters don't care about typing. So yeah, Vysis Starfrost was not only searchable, but at 2100 attack, the perfect amount to still be able to battle over the Light Barrier statue. So I thought about specialing the Rimheart here by popping the what's it called? The oh no, I couldn't. That's right. Because I was trying to figure out, like, because I specialed some on the right card. I'm like, well, why wasn't I able to then special Rimheart when I've gone into full plays here? But no, you actually can't here because the Clockwork Knight and actually also the Primitive Planet. Well, no, not the Primitive Planet Reichphobia. Sorry, just the Clockwork Knight actually makes the Scareclaw Reichheart stats different than is required for Rimheart. So that is the thing you got to watch out for, is stat altering effects. Even in our own deck, if you have tuners in the graveyard and you have Calarium up, your monsters that would normally have 1500 attack will have 1600 attack, or maybe more instead, right? So definitely worth keeping in mind, but we can still make the Baron de Fleur here, pop the Fossil Dyna, and then pass back over to our opponent. We have Ashwas if they rip like a Pot of Extravagance or Prosperity or something, and we have the Omni Negate as well. So they have a Necro Valley, another Clockwork Knight, and then a face down card before passing. So what I'm going to do here is pop the Necro Valley, and then I plan to use the Omni Negate on the face down card. The double Clockwork Knight is actually a little annoying here. Even if... Oh yeah, also I accidentally popped Baron de Fleur here. Because I was like, oh, I can summon Vysis. I guess I'll just do that now and pop the Meek. Although, why didn't I pop Meek? Did I not have it on the field? Add, reveal, activate. I didn't... That's how I misplayed. I forgot to special Meek before activating Vysis, right? Okay, I was wondering about that in-game. I was like, wait, why didn't I pop Meek there? But no, it's because I just activated it in the wrong order. Oops, so accidentally popped my own Baron. Obviously not ideal, but it's not really going to matter for this game. I mean, it could have easily. That face-down card could have been a Floodgate, so I'm not saying, like, oh, it's okay that we made this mistake, but it's just not going to affect the game hugely here. Isn't evenly, yeah. Oh yeah, but I was saying the Clockwork Knights. Although changing our monster to machine type doesn't really hurt us too much, the attack drop potentially does. So I am still going to go into the Chaos Angel here to get rid of one of the Clockwork Knights, but I think I also could have OTK'd through both of them being on the board. I just might have had to have made, like, gone out of my way to make weird stuff, potentially. Although, to be fair, we do have access to, I think, even multiple Astrolabs here, right? Because I think I should have the materials in the graveyard for another one. If I wanted to. Yep, I do. And Astrolabe, much like the Phantom of Yubel, is a fusion monster that can be summoned more than once per turn by just shuffling, or I guess in Astrolabe's case, banishing materials from the graveyard. So, yeah, no, we definitely would have been fine here. We would have had enough bodies. Yeah, as it stands, I already have more than enough damage on board, so I didn't even need to go into Chaos Angel to get rid of one of the Clockwork Knights, but I didn't really feel like doing a lot of math. So I will say there's a part of me that was just kind of like summoning stuff until I got enough damage on board. But I mean, obviously our opponent didn't have anything that was threatening us anyway, so it didn't really matter to play super efficiently there, except for popping the Baron with Vysis. That was absolutely a misplay that I should not have made, and did very much put us at risk of, like, not OTKing, or maybe even not winning this duel, though, to be fair. Even if they'd flipped up, like, Tickboo, or Rivalry, or Gozen, or Skill Drain, or something, I think the duel would have been mostly still in my favor. Probably could have still end up winning, not during that turn, but a more grindy game against a number of those hand traps if that came up. So, okay, we do have one more game I want to show off here. So let's finish off with that one. This game... Oh yeah, this one I don't even need to check my notes. This one is against Naturia Runick. I remember this game. And are we going second again here? No, we're going first this time. Dang, I was about to be like, oh, going second every game, but... Oh, but this hand, I remember this hand. So, this is the kind of hand where I do actually like imaginings quite a bit, but unfortunately here it did not actually get us into plays, right? So, this is why I thought we were going second, because we kind of effectively do here, except it's a little bit worse, because our opponent's going to start with an extra card, since they actually went second. So, I'm going to Valor the Naturia Camellia here. I actually was thinking more about Naturia Horus than Naturia Runick here. Funny how, you know, I wondered when the Horus stuff first came out of like, oh, Naturia Horus seems like it might be kind of niche, but now it's definitely the most popular Naturia variant. From my own personal experience, and I'm pretty sure if you looked at Untapped numbers, they would tell you the same thing. So, definitely want to imperm the Hugin. I did see they pitched a Sacred Tree, so they are going to get a Naturia card, but... No Runic Fountain, which is pretty good for us, and they do have a triple tack, although they're going to use the draw 2 and not hand rip. They have a thrust, which is also pretty scary, especially when they go for the destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. Not a card that you often see, excuse me, a deck like Naturia Runick playing, but I will say, if a deck is on triple tactics thrust, it's not terribly uncommon to see them playing the Karma Cannon as just a good trap card to set. Sometimes people will set evenly instead, but either way, I've often said that if you're going to play Triple Tactics Thrust, you need to have a good trap card to set in your deck, right? Like, yeah, it's nice to be able to pull powerful normal spells when you need them, but I think having access to a good trap card to set is good enough. Although I will say, I didn't think about this during the game itself, but I'm thinking right now, it's a little weird for Naturia Runick to be on this card, given that all the stuff Runick cares about is Fountain, the field spell, and then a bunch of quick play spells, right? Naturia doesn't have any normal spell or trap cards that it uses. Blessing the spell is a quick play, and then Sacred Tree is a continuous. So, like, they're playing the Karma Cannon to set it off Thrust. I understand that, but I kind of don't understand why they're playing Thrust in the first place. Like, I don't think either archetype is a particularly powerful card to search off a Thrust, but either way, we are going to have to end up dealing with that Karma Cannon here during this duel, so... Alright, we have the Reichphobia, going to use that to grab Scareclaw Reichheart, which will then go ahead and normal summon, grabbing Scareclaw Arrival, special summoning Mannadium Beak, and then I'm going to synchro these two for the Trisukta. Of course, you know, because of Thrust, I know the Karma Cannon's face down, and right now, I'm kind of just working to see if I can proc it more than anything else. So, they have a Max Seed, we have an Ash Blossom to counter, so I'll go ahead and do that. Alright, Trisukta's going to bring back Meek, and then once that happens, the Karma Cannon's going to flip, and flip everything face down. I'm going to use Reichphobia to pop the face down card. It ends up being a Naturia Blessing. I was really hoping it was going to be like some Runic spell, but they actually get to summon the Mole Cricket from hand. So when Blessing first activated, I was like, cool, this is fine. They're gonna bring back Camellia, mill Sacred Tree, add another Blessing, but then I can triple tack, take the Camellia was my plan, and then Arrival for Reichheart, Synchro for the Excel Stardust. Oh, but then I wouldn't have had Meek in the graveyard, so never mind, that wouldn't have played out. I mean, either way, I could have found plays, but then having Mole Cricket's a little more awkward, because I'm still going to do mostly the same thing. I'm going to take Mole Cricket, and I'm going to Arrival for Reichheart, but now I'm going to have to go for SP Little Knight. However, they're still going to be able to end on the Mole Cricket, because once I link away the Mole Cricket to make the Little Knight, then they'll be able to use the Mole Cricket's effect. I actually wondered during the game itself if it was going to play out this way, because I know Assault Synchron needs to have already been in the graveyard, but I guess Mole Cricket doesn't follow the same. I guess that also makes sense, too. But yeah, they are going to get to go for the Camellia Sunflower combo here, which is not ideal for me, especially the fact that they get Blessing too. Like, I can battle over this Camellia, but the fact that they have Blessing now means they can just bring it back and then still have Synchro plays and or Camellia plus Sunflower up, so... Honestly, this was one of those games that really, like, came down to one small thing. And it's one of the reasons why I like showing games like this. Well, one, I like showing losses in general just to give, like, a more... And I guess, spoiler, but I am going to lose this game. I like showing losses in general just to give a more balanced approach of, like, how the deck actually plays out, right? And how games tend to play out. But I like showing losses like this because... This is one of those games where, looking back, it's really easy to be like, oh, they just had everything. They had the thrust for the Karma Cannon, plus all their Naturia stuff. There's no way I could have played through it. However, when you actually break down the game and analyze it, it came down to them having Mole Cricket in hand. If they had brought back Camellia off of the Blessing from the graveyard, I think I could have handled that. But the Mole Cricket coming down from the hand was a bit more than I bargained for. So yeah, here I'm just going to go ahead and concede, give them the W, as even if I do think I'm going to live through this turn, I can't play through an Omni Negate and the double monster negate of the Baron plus Camellia and Sunflower. So, alright, that is going to go ahead and do it for these duels. As always, hope you enjoyed them, and as always, I'm very, very grateful that you stayed and watched all of them, which I'm assuming you did because you're hearing this part of the video. So, yay, thank you. Yeah, but that'll do it. Let's just move on to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up, and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out. But more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.